Well, joining us now is Tom Fitton, the president of the Judicial Watch, who has long been in the trenches of the political warfare in the swamp. This is a new one, Tom. To see this kind of just rank anger and an abuse of power so obvious and just vicious. Your reaction?
Well, I hope cooler heads prevail among Democratic Party leaders. I understand they see a political opportunity here, and there's emotional aspects to this because of what happened on Wednesday, that terrible violence. But the president didn't incite violence, and there's no basis, good faith basis for impeachment. So there are 2 weeks left in the Trump presidency.
Well,
let's get to work.
Tom, excuse me. Get to work. I don't want them to work. I know exactly what they're going to work toward, don't you?
Well, you know what I mean.
I want to understand why. I do know what you mean. The fact of the matter is that this is not a party that has high standards or thresholds for evidence, for reason in making their decisions to impeach a president. They had no basis the last time. And they have no basis this time. Why would we think the fact that they have no basis for an impeachment inquiry or articles of impeachment would in any way even cause a moment's pause for Nancy Pelosi?
Well, and especially since their behavior repeatedly has shown they don't really care about political violence. They don't have much concern about it. They've endorsed or condoned political violence here in Washington, D.C. repeatedly. You know, those of us who are conservative and principled oppose political violence no matter who's doing it. You know, we complained about the lack of security around the White House, the fact that the White House was under siege. And we're complaining about the lack of security around the Capitol, that the Capitol was under siege that led to those deaths that were outrageous this week. This is something, this is why I say we got to get to work. I mean, the security of the Capitol needs to be assured, and yet they're going on this jihad against President Trump for political purposes. It's inexcusable and irresponsible.
Inexcusable, irresponsible, and what has been the Republican response to Nancy Pelosi to this effort to call for articles of impeachment? You know, the silly sass of the Senate saying he could go along with impeachment, no problem. Not that he is particularly important one way or the other, but his his cavalier vacuousness is just and disloyalty to both the party and to this president are so obnoxious and repulsive. Why is no one standing up? Does anyone in that town have any guts left at all on the part of those rhinos?
You know, look, there's been this anti-Trump part of the Republican establishment for some time. Many members who say they're pro-Trump, they barely tolerated him, and so no one.
We know who they. But what I'm asking you is, what kind of party is here? Only those who have followed this president's lead on the issues that are most important to working men and women and their families in this country, small business, entrepreneurial enterprises. Small business is, this is not going to be the same world under a Biden administration. And to watch Mitch McConnell, who at best will be a minority leader, all upset because his wife very quietly leaves the administration because of what happened Wednesday. But no one's looking at the video of the Capitol Police opening up the fences and the stanchions and permitting those people into the Capitol. I mean, it was, in many cases, it was just walk on in, folks, you're invited. That was the optics of the moment in some cases. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you had violent breaches of the Capitol and other places they were let in, as you point out. But this is not about the violence. The left doesn't care about the violence. As I said, they've endorsed it and ratified it in the past, and especially when it was targeting the Trump White House. It's just, let's be consistent. Let's oppose violence no matter the federal building under attack. I hate what went on.
Yeah, we've gone through all of that on this broadcast, Tom.
But the targeting isn't about Trump in the end. I mean, Trump is just a target for the next week.
Tell that to Trump.
They want to outlaw all criticism of the left. They want to outlaw concerns about the election. They say if you are concerned about election integrity, you should have no right to free speech anymore. And they're equating it with support for violence. This is the dangerous part of what they're doing. They're trying to outlaw their political opposition, suppress their political opposition, using the violence on Wednesday to target innocent Americans, and we can't stand for it. We got to protect our constitutional rights.
Michelle Obama calling for big tech and social media to censor President Trump. Others to ban him from the nation's capital forever. I mean, the nonsense that is spewing from the venal left in this country it's nauseating and infuriating. Yeah, and that is not helpful.
I'm concerned that, remember, the Obama-Biden administration, the IRS was used to target opponents of the Obama administration. We had the spying going on. And now we have explicit they're explicitly saying if you're questioning the elections, you're inciting violence, which criminalizes free speech. This is a dangerous path the left is going down. But they've been supporting this type of attack on our constitutional values for years now as the radical wing has ascended within the Democratic Party. It's been terrible to see, and it's not going to get better. It may get worse for a time, in the least, as we're seeing now.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to see the next phase in the fascist left's efforts to control speech in this country and to dominate, not to dominate, to eliminate counter-dissenting voices. We have reports from the Federalist that Apple has threatened to remove the competing social media site Parler from its app stores, competing against the left-wing mad Twitter service. This is where we're headed, and it's going to get uglier and uglier, it seems, each day if it is not stopped. Tom Fitton, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Big tech is scrubbing everything, and Apple's China friendly, as you know, Lou, so the irony is rich, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're also China bound in their production as well. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. Tom Fitton, Judicial Watch.